The autumn wind is a pirate, blustering in from sea. With a rollicking song he sweeps along, swaggering boisterously. His face is weather-beaten. He wears a hooded sash, with a silver hat about his head, and a bristling black mustache. He growls as he storms the country, a villain big and bold. And the trees all shake and quiver and quake as he robs them of their gold. The autumn wind is a raider, pillaging just for fun. He'll knock you round and upside down and laugh when he's conquered and won.
Las Vegas Raiders quarterback Derek Carr owns most of the franchise's passing records, but he's not a Raider legend. Ken Stabler won a Super Bowl and Jim Plunkett won 2. Darryl LaMonica and Rich Gannon played in Super Bowls, and all 4 quarterbacks won over 60% of their games. But Carr played for the most dysfunctional organization in NFL history. In 2016, he looked like he was going to be the next legendary Raider quarterback, but instead, he went through some injuries, 5 head coaches, and 4 offensive coordinators. His best receiver and defensive player were traded with inadequate returns. Antonio Brown happened to him a couple of years ago. Then this year, as soon as he starts balling with a good cast around him, head coach John Gruden and receiver Henry Ruggs went dramacidal. Then he started not to play well, to the point where I thought he should be benched. But he got through it and now has the Raiders in position to make the playoffs. And if he and the Raiders win and get in, that'll be step 1 toward Raider legend status, overcoming major adversity from his own team. 2016 was year 3 for Carr, the year you see what a prospect is going to be. And it looked promising as Carr showed his big arm and beautiful deep ball. He also showed he was right behind Aaron Rodgers as the second best thrower of the fade route. Not that he chose to do so very often, but he could run, and he was unafraid to put his body on the line in the process. And he can make things happen outside the pocket with his arm as he makes all 4 defensive linemen miss before going deep. And he was clutch too. Listen.
Yep. Carr looks left, throws, caught. Seth Roberts diving for the end zone. Touchdown! Raiders!
But unfortunately, his 3rd place finish in NFL MVP voting ended with a broken leg. Then the next year with the new offensive coordinator, Carr breaks his back in 3 places. Then the next year, in comes Gruden, who trades Amari Cooper, and Carr doesn't have much to throw to. Then the next year, Antonio Brown happens and the Raiders fade down the stretch. Then last year, things looked real nice until that fade happened down the stretch again. In the beginning of this year, he starts off really well. He doesn't have the best offensive line, but he was able to escape the pocket and get the ball down the field. He showed he can break the rule of throwing across his body. And that he can make multiple guys miss, run left, and throw back right. You're back there running around, it sure is nice to have a guy like Hunter Renfrow make himself available to you. So he's using his ability to move around again, and he still has the big arm and accuracy, and he has plenty of weapons to go with that, like Hunter Renfrow making plays after the catch in the slot. Freaky athletic tight end Darren Waller can do whatever you need him to do. You can hit him short, you can hit him in the intermediate part of the field, and you can hit him deep. If you don't watch out, Zay Jones will get you deep, like he did the Ravens here to win the game. And of course, there was the speedster of all speedsters on his way to becoming a superstar, Henry Ruggs. And life without Ruggs was not the same for Carr. He just wasn't right, staring down his targets. Just plain not seeing the whole field. And it didn't help that he wasn't getting protected very well. But there is absolutely no excuse for fumbling on a play that nobody even stripped you on. Carr turned the ball over 6 times in those 3 games, and that was when I wanted him benched. Some of you think I turned on him because of that. And to that I say Terry Bradshaw, Joe Montana, and Steve Young have all been benched, and they're all in the Hall of Fame. Then against the Dallas Cowboys, Carr and the offense were back. Hunter Renfrow was still rolling after the catch on short passes. But he also added the deep ball to his game. Deshaun Jackson was there to replace Henry Ruggs as the big play speedster. And again, when you don't watch out for Jones, he makes you pay. Carr was the Carr we all needed to see, throwing for 373 yards and a touchdown. But more importantly, he was fighting. He was showing some determination, that Raider will to win. Escaping the pocket when he had to and making plays down the field. He wasn't so quick to give up on a play as he is at times. And he used the ability God gave him to run. And of course there's Waller. I saved him for last. He injured himself in that game and hasn't been seen since. He's playing Sunday night. If he's anywhere near where he's supposed to be, we might see the offense we saw against the Cowboys. But after losing a couple of games, Carr finally effectively adapted. It was short crossing routes and calling running plays for time of possession, leaning heavily on the defense. But occasionally he threw that deep ball to Jones. And I sure wish we would have seen more of this with Bryan Edwards in the red zone. But the defense kept it close and Carr made the throws that counted, like this one to set up a field goal to beat the Cleveland Browns. And this one to get a first down on 3rd and short to run the clock out against the Denver Broncos. And of course, it wouldn't be Carr in the clutch without Renfrow. This one to set up a field goal to beat the Colts last week. Carr is ready to do it in different ways now. After 7 up and down topsy-turvy years with the dysfunctional Raiders, Carr looked like he was ready to shatter some NFL passing records. Then tragedy struck and Carr was lost. But he eventually figured out another way to do it and adapted. And everything is right there for him to lead his team into the playoffs. And if he does, after all he and the Raiders have been through, he will have taken his first step toward becoming a Raider legend. Thank you for watching. See you next time.